What up, everyone? Well, it's time for one of my streams again, as usual. Well, I really haven't thought of what to talk about this time, and well, I really haven't really thought of what topic to be talk about this time. Well, I mean, anyone is welcome in joining the stream, and any topic is actually well accepted in. So, yeah, so anything is well accepted in here. One of my friends, Cody, Darkhog, he actually did recently started to streams of himself on his new channel. Turned out that his old channel had been hacked, which were surprising, shocking, and I was dumbfounded. And when I was in his first new stream of his channel, he was kicked out from the StreamYard multiple times. I was like, what? He was literally kicked out from the stream, and I was like, what the? And then I was like, probably he left because had to fix his mic because um I first believed that his mic was just had well his mic was having a little issues there. It was a little glitching out there. I can barely hear maybe one or two words in a sentence. So I thought believe that Cody just left to fix the problem, but no, it was that he was kicked out. I believe it was maybe 5 or 6 times in a row, less than a half an hour or so, maybe. And the funny thing is, when I told him I just gonna be muted for a little bit, when I came back, he had ended the stream and left, and he didn't even left a message in the private chat or even on Discord. I was curious, but I didn't even ask. Well, 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 look who's here. Our friendly Joker. Who's currently eating, as usual. Yeah, I wasn't really, I wasn't really sure if I would do a stream today since, yesterday I wasn't feeling well in my throat. I had a little bit sore throat after doing 5 audio stores. So, yeah. And, but that alone, in for the past 2 to 3 days, I actually didn't just admit 5 audio stories, but total of around 10 total in just in 3 days. And if people are some of my viewers had asked me questions as stories before, I'm still not taking in any requests at all. I'm still had to been taking care of some of the requests that has been asked for the past almost 8 years. And do trust me, it was a lot of them. I mean, I had to go through almost more than 1,000 videos, almost. I mean, that was on all of my MLP True Love stores, MLP dating stores, the non-MLP stores, and even basically all of those in the playlist I have, and it was well, over. There was almost close to as 1,000 videos, considering the MLP Love Stories has 650 plus videos. And not every single one of the videos didn't have any story request. Some only had some comments of how my videos been good. And to be fair, I did notice there were some comments that had could have been having as I don't know, maybe 12 or maybe as 20 follow-up comments, but I didn't follow through all of them since after I did notice that some of them were some people actually comment in the same comment. If one person had made a comment, and I made one comment to the statement, and other people could put other comments in that original comment, it could have been like almost between 10 or maybe as 20. And I went through some of them, but there were no requests or anything. There was just some people talking about how the story were, or some people did make comments about my previous stories would have some bad comments or bad spelling, bad grammar. In my defense, in my early stories, I used Google Translator for most of that. But I'm still using it in certain times when I need in order to have some sort of words to be translated, even though I can spell speaking, saying the word without no problem, but the spelling it is a different matters. Considering that the English is not my native language, if you were doing stories in different language, like say if Game Guy would do stories and he was asked to do stories in say in like French or maybe Spanish, and that is not his native language, and he doesn't even speak the language, so it's basically the same thing as there. I was asked to do two stories, one in Japanese, in French, one in Spanish, which I did use Google Translator since I don't speak either of the languages, and and since I did made um, a document where I did put all the requests I have been asked by stories for the past 8 years or so, it ended up as 9 pages. Yeah, so, and I had even been working any of those stories yet. I only been working on some other past recently requests for the past few months before, and yeah, it's gonna be taking me a long time, and I don't know exactly when I will be able to go back to normal requests again. One of the stories I did made about a year ago, someone actually had asked me to do Henry the Train with Fluttershy as a love story, and I didn't even know about that comment or that request. I did actually went back to one video. It said, okay, first I didn't even was even looking for any particular comments or anything. I just went from an old video I did, and there it was, a comment, and it stated 3 years ago. So to this year, it will be 4 years ago. And about a month ago, when I went through all those old comments, I found the same request, but it and that one was the same as Henry the Train with Fluttershy, dated back as 5 years ago, not 4 or 3. So apparently, the same person had asked me the same story twice, but different time or period of time. And frankly, to be saying, considering how many love stories have been done, and considering how many of these stories requests that's been asked for the several years now, it's likely this that the reason why I understand that most of my viewers had lost patience and that they think that Switch Job was never going to do the story. And for just being honest, I will, but it just you had to understand. Considering how many requests at stores I've been asked for almost 8 years, I've been almost doing this for almost a decade, and I was really dumbfounded that I even had so many requests. Even when I first started doing it, I didn't even expect any at this would have been these long run, long term stories, and be honest, I didn't even be frankly to be fair to be said believing that this stories would even be that any popular. I mean, I was at the time. I was a nobody compared to any others within the Bronic community, like Dr. Wolf, Silver Quill, Lightning Bliss. They were more bigger ones because they made a lot of reviews and they analyzed of other things. And they even works on animation in some videos, which I have no skills, no interest to do. And but yeah, I was like a lot of videos over time, and I mean, have been doing love stories for almost 8 years, and nearly 700 love stories, and it's really easy to lost track on the request on that. Even when I first started doing my love stories, I was never the intention to do it as a long run on it. I was only the intention to make the main six and only add a few background characters. But there was also at the same time when I was has been only been part of the Brony community for almost perhaps as just 1 year or so. I wasn't even get into the series until like in this third, or I believe it was around the fourth season. So that would have been around 2014, but I didn't do any stories until like 2015, only about a year later. And I didn't even expect any of my stories that even to be that well reached in the Brony community, because even when I first started doing my stories, even well just before then, I had only like 50 subscribers, and my most videos were just random ones that I put. I even made two seasons of a mini series at the start that was based on the Stargate Universe series. Even that was originally planned to do as long run, but eventually I got tired of it and I focused on something else. And I was just planning to do MLOP stories, and like I said, only about the main six and a few background characters, and then move on. Because back then, I wasn't considering myself as a brony or any even part of the fandom at all. I was just considering myself as a loyal cartoon. I would say fanatic, but I would say well, loyal cartoon fan. I mean, considering I had done so many ideas, so many stories over the years. So, I mean, I had done a lot of love stories, not only about the MLP, but even some um, based on like Violet from The Incredibles with the son Wilbur from what was it? The Meet the Robinsons. It's and even some Digimon monsters characters like Tai and Sora and like that. And I had done a lot of those type of stories as well. I even had done a few Pokemon stories like Ash with Serena, Ash and Lily, and I was asked so many stories over almost a 10 years time. And I had never even imagined I'm going to have so many requests in my this time. Even when I first had done the main six of the SLR stories, I did notice that I started getting a lot of started getting a few requests if I could do that story, and I continued, and it has continued since. Even I actually did made one last story that was focused on one of the brownie communities. Oh, Hayden is here. Um, one of them were Scribbler Production. One her character um, with her fiance or boyfriend. But then sometimes after I have posted that video, Scribbler literally reached out in a comment and said that she and her boyfriend were no longer together. And I had no knowledge of that. And I even put another response to that and asked if she wanted me to remove the story, but she didn't. So that story is still there. And even though I had still had made a few others of um, Firebrand with Aramau, which is actually his real wife in real life, and uh, and then with Jasper Pie with Harmony Dancer, which is his real life girlfriend, and a few others. Only but even around, I believe it was around March when Firebrand He was given of the biggest shock of news. His wife was expecting their first child, but when he found out there was twins, and even when they had this call with her family, the mother said, the father of her said there were no twins in the family. And he asked Firebrand if there was any twins in his family, and he said no. So, especially when they said they were expecting twins, yeah, that was a big shocker. Yeah, so, and like I said about my stories, I really didn't have any plans to do at this many. And I wasn't really much expecting to have so great uh, fan base. I mean, when it comes to the MLP, the fandom itself, um, um, I have to say it's based on Derpy Borrow as a website. If you just go into shippings, I'll tell you it's a lot. Last time I checked, I actually do not even remember exactly, but I can just look at here. Shippings. Nope, doesn't shipping here. Ah, here we go. Implied. Well, um, yeah, I wouldn't. Basically, I'm not gonna even count any of that. But they estimate as around. If I go to this website, maybe. I mean, Derby Borough and Twiborough, which is basically the same thing. And come on here, let's see if there's any mentioning of how many shippings there are. Come on, really? He. Nope. Well, basically, oh, bye, Hayden. It's around 200,000 last time I checked, but yeah, it's a lot of stories. All right, I will still be here. Maybe. No promises. Yeah, so a lot of things have changed under my stores and the just and I can mention this next week will be the next game show stream about space. Well, let's see who else will join in the stream. Hey, that was here a moment ago. King Guy had to reset his computer. Okay. Hmm.
Now I can hear you. Oh my god, a miracle has arrived! Cody the Dark Hog is alive! Maybe. I don't know what he's doing.
What up?
Wow, Cody, you sound exactly like Swedish. Wait a second.
Well, that is me, dude.
I know. I also didn't know he changed his profile.
Well, he did actually. Well, this is actually the same one as on the Discord actually. But the strange is when he actually had his stream about a couple of days ago. Um, he actually invited me on Facebook. I wasn't really much planning to stay on there for a long time. I just go in there, just look around and log out. But then he sent me a link, and he was kicked out. Like he left like six or at least 5 or 6 times in a row. I was like, but during the time, his mic was acting up a little, and I could barely hear him. Maybe only a few words in a sentence. I was like, okay, this is so he left to. When he left, I thought, okay, he's gonna fix his mic, but nope. And it turned out he was having his. He was literally kicked out from StreamYard for some reason. I don't know why, or and he was using his phone. And since sometimes when you will use your phone, you were not kicked out as that many times.
Yeah,
So
well, Streamer Phone Edition does kind of suck, so.
yeah, so I really have no idea what's happening there for him, but eventually it did work out. But when I told him I was only had to be muted for a bit, when I came back, the stream was over and he had left, and he had even left me a message in a private chat or even on Discord. So I was like, "What? This is the first time he literally often just okay." Sometimes when he do streams and when I'm there, he suddenly just end it and then just leaves. But this time, I left him for only a brief moment. When I came back, Cody had already ended his stream and left without even telling me about it. Because even during the stream, he didn't tell me that if he had to go somewhere or anything. But I did ask him about his new place. It's a new apartment, and I asked how his relations with his new neighbors as. And there's from based on I could pieces to put the pieces on what he told me, despite the mic was a little crappy there. It's was good, and he has new gear takers. So apparently, the old ones he had is no longer part of that's. I I don't even know how that even works, honestly. So yeah, so basically, Cody has been living out his new place for I don't not even a month yet, but he moved in sometimes in April. I believe it was under mid to late April last month. Um, so yeah, I mean, I wasn't really much expecting that to happen though. Um, have you ever heard of the channel called Luxurious Pranks?
Nope.
Oh boy, I don't tell you. That channel is based on two guys, Parker and Chester. They have made a few other channels. One is Luxury Dark, which is they're basically focus on things on that's quite dark, uh, like buying things from dark web. One is that they bought this um, uh, let's say it was supposed to be um, a spider, or no, wait, a fish. Was it supposed to be a fish? But it was an undiscovered, a new discovered species of fish that was hadn't even been cataloged yet or anything. There were oh, then they bought this type of worm. If you're like meaning like earthworms, oh no. Parker Chester, they literally ordered this. Um, okay, this might freak you out or be disgusting. At least I warn you. You know that when you can have some worms in your stomach,
No.
they are like um, tiny, uh, tapeworms, like long white-like ones. But anyways, these guys bought this type of tapeworms from this dark web site. Apparently, which every single time is something that Chester had found, and it escaped from this containment, um, crawled all the way to Chester's room, and well, let's say he was having this crawl in his stomach. So they went to this guy to pretend to be his doctor, but gave him some pills to have it stopped or something. But they're just like this, um, just normal painkillers type. So they went to the hospital and they had it pulled out 3 foot long tapeworm species. And according to them, it was unknown species. And they had this the same channel, Dark Luxury Dark. They ordered a spider, like a giant spider. Um, I believe it's maybe as big as almost like the Goliath spider. Big one of the big ones. Um, it managed to somehow crawl out as a fish tank where this was placed in, and crawl over Chester's face, and yeah, and he believed that it actually had put this eggs in his stomach. But of course, all of it is staged. Even it looks real, and I did see their latest video, um, where um, this okay, this is like a follow up episode of a previous video they did of a mother saying that she had some problem with her son and that her son's arms and legs was growing and didn't stop. I mean, if when he stood on his right up, I believe he could have been almost like as 8 or even as 9 foot tall, and his arms could be as long as his body, like I don't know, maybe as 4 to 5 feet long. And in this late video, there was this the mother had she was in a very poor condition if she was terminally ill. She was in this wheelchair, had lost her hair. She was very pale, almost like if she has cancer or something. And her sister was worried about her just sister. Um, this one is called Doris, and the other one's called Cadence. Cadence was the one the mother has the son Tommy. Well, let's say it's they literally this guy his neck. It was I say maybe just 1 foot long neck, and he turned his head completely, almost 360 degrees to look at Parker and Chester, and they even saw him drinking his mother's spinal fluid with his giant tongue. Even like I said, all that is stage, so it's not like even real. But near the end, um, the sister, Doris, Tommy did the same thing to her, but when Parker Chester found her, it was like only the skin, like no bones, anything, like just like the skin shell of her. And like I said, it's only staged, so it's not even real. Um, one of the same videos that they did, Happiness Girl was believing that her dad was um had she had lost her younger brother Timmy. Um, well, let's say it's how his her father was acting out. He had made a doll to almost look like her late brother, and based on what the Chester found in the father's room, is that this if that he has put Timmy's heart in this doll, it somehow became alive, and it killed the father by dropping something heavy from a bookshelf, and it ran in to the sister's room and did something. They never showed exactly what it was, but yeah, it was all staged. And another, the original channel, Luxury Pranks, luxury pranks, is they made of social experiment they called, but they um, suppose helping people that have been catfished, but it was also staged. One of the videos they put on another channel is that they have filled a whole swimming pool full of human hair to swim in it. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, swimming in I mean, yeah. You know, funny story. My mom told me something about a couple of weeks ago that this guy was having problems with wild boars in the neighborhood. Um, one of the neighbors in that particular neighborhood has no problem with them because they never even entered his yard because he found out one trick that did literally helped. He paid. He was pinning all the lines around his the boundaries of his yard, and turned out it worked. I don't understand how by peeing around your own within your own your yard's boundaries, how that can even prevent wild boars to even enter your yard or in your property. I mean, peeing along the property line to prevent wild boars to even enter it. How might that make sense? I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I noticed certain animals, cats, dogs, bears, or basically any animal mark their territory as to make sure that no others enter it. But this, having a person peeing along his property line, should prevent wild boars to enter it. Oh boy, now that's that's crazy to be doing. But farmers, they have a lot of problems with the wild boars. Like, I mean, potato fields or any crops they can find. I mean, there were actually where I live near the lake. This owner, he um he woke up on some disturbance outside in the middle of the night, and he saw this wild boar on his property, and it's actually knocked down one of those garbage bins on his property and was digging inside when he then suddenly yelled out to the wild boar, which took off. And wild boars is not an animal that you don't want to mess around, especially if it has children of its own. That makes them even more dangerous. But not even as far dangerous if you have a mother bear with her cubs. Now that is a dangerous one. More dangerous than even a wild boar. I mean, considering it, first of all, the size of a bear and how dangerous they have the claws and the teeth, you know? So you never want to be approaching a bear that has a cubs. Yeah, yeah, you really don't. And did you know that there is actually a polar bear grizzly hybrid species in Alaska? And they're usually white in color. But there is another thing I didn't know that the American's black bear, which is black in color, but there is actually 10% of the original population which is white. And it's due to the fact due to receive a gene. And how about you say if someone tried to tame a moose as a riding animal?
That'd be crazy.
Oh yeah. Tell that to one of the kings there in my country years, centuries ago. One particular king wanted to use moose as a riding animal, but never did work out. This is it didn't work out. Hey, Cody Dragon is in the comments. What up, Cody? Um, yeah. So having a riding animal, um, I remember one old episode from the Elf, the TV show. He went through this frenzy one time. His species always go for this the frenzy stage that he will do anything to eat his favorite animal, this favorite animal from on his planet, um, which is felines, cats. So, um, let's see what happened. That he took a lawnmower, driving all the way to the zoo, kidnapped a tiger, and took it home and put it in the garage. When uh, when he was talking to the father in the family, and well, let's say it was when they did that he realized that he had took home something. They heard something from the garage, and okay, they were like walk in, and they both shocked because on the table an actual tiger sitting laying on the table. So they both closed the door, and it was pretty dangerous. And an elf, which is not his real name, but he was named as that. His people literally eat cats as we eat dogs, um, cows, and pigs. They eat cats on his. Well, they used to eat cats on his home planet before it was boom exploded. They eat cats like omelets, burgers, pancakes, fries, all that. It's, I mean, it's unlike what we do because South Korea is actually one country in the world that I know of that actually serves cat in 25 restaurants as a part of the menu. Um, well, Cody, I hope that your team got the first place this time. If you're not, well, keep practice. And like I said, like in China, people eating dogs, rats, but mostly dogs as a part of the menu. I'm like, okay. But then you go to France, the French, um, they eat, where they eat snails and frogs. If you go back to South America, like in the during the 1600, 1500, something like that, the Incas, they ate guinea pigs as a delicacy. Some Native Americans in South America even ate chihuahuas as delicacy, which is not unusual considering how considering how many. I mean, if they can eat dogs, South Koreans can eat cats. French people eat snails and frog legs. And what they've been saying that, and especially in Asia, where they can eat squid as part of the menu or their main food source, is unlikely though. Well, considering one food source that only happens if you're really desperate, which would be eating other people. It's it has happened over entire human history that we have been eating other people. Other cultures do that because that's part of their religion, their mythology that's supposed to be doing it. Others, well, like in the movie Alive, when this football team would end up in the Andes on mountains, trapped, with no food, all that the food they had was ran out, and it would out been prevent themselves from starving by eating their dead comrades. And it's something that happened to many people around the world. And even like, I would have been surprised if some Native Americans or even American colonists did the same thing. I mean, think about it. It's horrifying if just a thought to be imagined like you're eating your own friends, family members. Well, it happens all over the world. No matter where you live, if you live in Europe, North America, South America, or even is in Africa, there are some cultures which is very much accepted as a part of life. Others considering as one of the worst taboo to do. Well, I'm just saying it's a worse. It is. Anyways, well, Cody, hope you get the Pokemon video game premiere tournament soon. Um, yeah, and Cody, you did know that you did mention this um Envelope PG5 starts chapter 4 around June 6th, and it's gonna be another special. Let me find out. Um, which is called Bridalwood Stock, which is a reference to Woodstock apparently. It's gonna have a new character in a series called Ruby, a Pegasus, a singer apparently, a little like that. I'm curious to see what that's gonna be like. Um, among the G5 shippings, there is actually one. Queen Haven with Alpha Battle, which if it turn out is as potentially as confirmed because this web series called MLOP Tell Your Tale, which is only 5 minutes each. Queen Haven actually had invited Alpha Battle to Zephyr Heights, and having her daughters there to be trying to ruin it and all that. I mean, it's if it's just me, but if it is really clearly as 100% shipped, and the same thing is for um, um, Pinky with Cheese back in the when he first appeared. Turned out they were officially later in season 9. Hitch to be shipped with someone, you know. Even though I did see this short trailer from the new Chapter 4 event, it kind of looks like if Hitch might could end up with Sip, but I'm not 100% saying right now. It could just be an innocent interaction between them, but it is potential. But I would say, if I would say Hitch, um, probably with Pip or Sip. I can't see him with Sunny because I think he's seeing her as a friend, but more as like a sister. I mean, they had grown up each other. They're around the same age, and I wouldn't be surprised if he saw her only like a sister, not more than that. Um, okay, if someone had asked me to do a love story based on Hitch with Pip and Sip, I would say nope, that's not happening because it's a little bit difficult to figure out how to make a love story based on two mares but one stallion. Well, that's might be a little bit tricky. So, Game Guy Bird, what you been up to?
Eh, not much. I don't know if you saw the thing in the private chat, by the way.
Yeah, you won't be perhaps want to be in your joining a stream tomorrow since one of your cousins finished high school or college.
Yep, I'm back to doing that BS again.
But at least though you don't traveling far this time.
That's true. It is in the same state. That's it's literally like 16. No, not even 16 minutes away. So it won't be this as long as it was last time. But we're gonna go out and
Well,
stuff. So
let's say this that it's not like you have to travel all the way to I don't know, say California or anything. That would have been
yeah, thank
something.
God. I've had enough traveling for 1 month.
I mean, yeah, and so that and your family's finances. I mean, despite for your dad working and for your mom works, it's unlike. I mean, it's like that they could just buy tickets of flying around. Considering flying is quite expensive, and also another thing is that despite your dad has in the return to job his work yet since after his knee surgery about a month ago. But despite that, I don't think that they can take leave from work every single month or every single time that someone in your family finished high school or college, or if you have someone having getting married or something like that. You can't not just in your family can't traveling every single time because despite that they were having some at their jobs, they can't just take an absence so many times. It's a risk that they would eventually be they could then eventually be let go from the works. And that is one thing that your parents doesn't don't want to risk. Because if that happens, how would they been able to pay the bills, the rent, and well, most of things like to paying the gas for the car and the food of all that stuff? And yeah, so your parents cannot do that all yourself. But unless you and Roy travel alone, since neither of you have enough work yet, and that might work even better for you two, and Roy would, and that even Roy would miss out at gym for say a week or 2 weeks. that doesn't even have necessary to meaning as much important because he can always do some exercise almost anywhere. If he won't have to be running, he can just run out for he can just go outside, run around for an hour or something, or even do some exercise at home. Like he can just do push-ups and sit-ups and eat at home, or and no matter where you go. So, but like I said, plane travels is really quite expensive. Um, well, in my family, it's I do believe it's my dad has even been on a plane, I believe, but my mom and my siblings has. After all, my sister has been to Bulgaria, to Poland. My brother has been to some of the islands in near Greece, but myself had never been on a plane, never. So, but hopefully, by the next with the next few years, I'll be able to do that. Even despite having fear of heights, um, but I'm willing to take that risk in order to go to see my girlfriend in the US because a plane can take up to as well. That of course depend on where the final destination is. I mean, there's no the official uh, airport that's international airport near where she lives is in I believe it's Detroit or we're still somewhere else. And there are only a handful of international airports in the US. And of course, it depends on which which one you're end up being going to in the US. If you're
I have an
whoa,
ambulance going right by your house for some reason. Don't ask why.
but like I said, if you were going to say California and you live in Sweden, or if you live somewhere in Europe, the travel can take between I say between I don't know 5 to maybe 10 hours. But if you go to Florida, can also take maybe as from between I don't know 5 to 8 hours or something like that. And but if you take a boat, it can take up to as I believe it's maybe as 2 days in order to travel. So I'd rather take a plane. At least that does save me a few hours. That save me at
Here it comes
least.
again. Seriously, I don't know what's going on out there, but I don't like the sound of it.
Um, but if you like saying boat travel between America and Europe, especially between United States and England, these days it can take like I believe it's 2 or 3 days. But if you go back to as the 1500s to late 1700s, they the travel took way longer. It took 3 months for travel, perhaps 3 to 4 months. Now it takes 2 to 3 days, which shocking how it happened. Well, mostly because back then it was just because they only had the power of the wind,
Seriously?
and later it was when the steam engines come into development, which shorted down the speed onto from 3 months to maybe as a couple of weeks, and then faster ships in the late 20th century to early 21st century. Now we have they can only take from 2 to 3 days. While that depends if you're traveling to say from England to Iceland, for example, or from Scotland to Iceland, that can take us maybe just a few hours, maybe a day. To depend on, of course, on time of the day you leave. But if you travel from Norway to England, now that takes only a few hours. It's kind of closer. But Yeah. And what did Roy do? But all the ambulances around in the background.
He didn't do anything. I don't know what's going on, but don't
Yeah,
blame Roy for this.
yeah, loud sirens can be a pain in our ears, but that they are only doing their job at least. Malachite said that. Malachite, get your green ass in here, or if you're too afraid. Well, and I haven't done much today except been watching some old episodes of the FBI files on TV, and they released one fictional story. Um, oh yeah, my older nephew was here for a few hours, which I was not informed that he was even going to be here. I mean, I was downstairs and to grab my lunch, and I heard a voice, and I looked in the living room on the couch. Yep, there it sits. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I even heard from my supervisor yesterday, not yesterday, but early this week. Um, she told me that we should expect a really warm summer, almost the same temperature as we had back in 2018, about 5 years ago, which were around 100 degrees. And we should expecting the same thing as for next coming upcoming years as well. That's I mean, it's not unexpected, to be honest. I just hope that the Fire Goddess can survive that. And if you were to take a car to the nearest beach where I live, yeah, I just should warn you, you probably won't even to find a parking spot. But only like I believe it's only 6 plus spaces that you can park in. So that's just great.
Hmm.
And another place that's a little bit used in the outskirts, also not a beach. It's also quite only had, I believe it's only for maybe it's 10 cars perhaps. But I don't tell you though, that's particularly 2018 was for the summer. Um, it's it's just how that summer was so really warm. Oh ha ha ha, Malachite. Oh ha ha ha. Apparently, you have a bad memory, not as bad as Game Guy. No offense, Game Guy, but you agreed as Michigan Palm Tree as my nickname for you, Swedish. Not anymore. That would be the either the palm tree or pine tree.
More like a weeping willow.
Ooh, Michigan Middens, because the state kind of reminds us of middens, and in fact, actually, is even known as the Little Midden State. I mean, considering like if you look at the Italy, which looks like a boot, and Sicily, which is next to it, which would be as a football or something. So yeah, so I haven't lived that much. I just really hope that this summer won't be that extremely hard. So I like it's like Atacama Desert. in South America, which only rains twice in a whole year, and it's not even that large amount either. I believe it's maybe as full as two coffee cups, as much as I will take any tree as a name, even sugar maple or Douglas fir or fear, because those are nice trees here in the US. Um, Douglas fir, I believe I actually seen those.
Douglas
Maple,
Fairmont.
um, but sugar maple, not really. But we do have maple trees here in Sweden. But if you were to try to tap them on maple syrup, it wouldn't work because that's not that type of maple trees. And look, our friendly idiot, the village idiot.
Well, as long as I'm not your village idiot, who cares?
I honestly thought it was Kofu for a second.
Expecting good in the streams? Yeah, good luck,
Nah,
dude.
nah,
No, you always
he's
called Kofu something
he's the
like
Bakugan
stupid or
idiot.
idiot or something like that.
He's the Bakugan idiot.
Malachite just proved my point there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kubo and Malachite isn't even related somehow. I mean, a
Nah,
long distance.
I don't want to be related to a jack in the ass.
No
You know
comment.
this. You know this is the exact reason I think he never comes around because we always make fun of him.
Oh,
Same.
snap.
Hey,
Someone
you
else
make
here.
fun of him too, Swedish.
Yeah, but someone else here. Not
Who is
Kubo.
it?
Well, one word. Storm.
Oh no.
Our friendly Trister
I'm sorry.
chaser.
I'm on a tree.
Okay,
Wow, the
first of
first
all,
thing you said and it was out of context. Way to go.
okay, when did you become a coconut?
How can? Oh shoot!
No comment.
Yeah, no
That
comment.
is not a coconut. As a coconut criticizer, I can say that is not a coconut. That's a banana.
He got he
Well, this
got me
one.
got bad in
You
the
guys,
stream.
Okay, first of all, that was the most. Not even that banana was turned bad because it was brown. Not being a reference to that. I mean, it was just not even yellow.
Hey, Swedish.
oh,
Hmm?
At least if he hangs himself upside down on a branch, we can call him a bat.
He's already got 2 strikes. He'll need one more to get out.
turn this around. Okay,
Sounded like Jake for a second there.
this around. We're going to the back camera. Uh, yeah, I'm in a tree. Oh,
Also, I thought for a second it was going to be Deanna or something like that, but no.
So I just like it to be a nut. You nut.
y'all. It's not.
Well, they do say the low hanging fruit's the worst, but
I'm gonna lay. Okay, no, I'm not gonna lay down. Yeah, you should
what
try
is
this.
he
It's good
even
exercise.
talking about? I'm a little bit
Oh, frick,
confused.
there's an ant. I probably should get down and not get stung by the ant.
Yeah, that's right. I'm good at this game, I swear.
Yeah, there's an ant. I think the ants found me. No, this ain't your property. Hold on.
You're on a tree. How did an ant get up there?
They can
hid
literally
under the
walk.
tree. They hid under
They
the
can
tree,
walk
man.
up there, dude.
Well, I know, but
They
why
do
would
not
they
like
come
me
up
up
to
here.
see you?
Oh. Oh, Terry.
Seems like a very specific thing for them to do. They're just like, oh,
Hey,
we're on the same
this
tree
is
as
a
this guy. We might as well
Byron.
go say hi.
Yo, this is Byron. Get back to your homie. Oh, boy.
Well,
You're
it's not
not
the
funny.
fire ants because
You're not funny, Swedish.
what?
Get your booty.
This was new profile.
Hold on.
No, Malachite, you're wrong. I'm not funny.
How about this one though?
I got something. I'm gonna take these ants out
Okay,
real
if
quick.
Cody was a bad boy, he break the limb.
Y'all, I'm a badder boy than Cody. I'll smash all y'all right now.
Please don't ever
Okay,
say that again. Thank you.
how about this though? This
I
one.
got the ant.
This is the moment where I
There
pull
we
out
go.
a bug's life.
Now I found it.
You
I
know,
found their little
Code.
hideout. Get
Sorry,
out.
the Stormy should take care, because I've heard that there are actually tree scorpions.
Yeah, the perfect tree scorpions. But I got
Excuse
out
me?
before they hit me, so.
Yeah, I never even heard of
Get
tree
smashed.
scorpions.
There was
What?
a show. There was a show, I think I mentioned it before, called Monster Bug Wars, and there was some kind of tree scorpion. I think it could have been a bark scorpion or some kind of sign like it followed along the lines of a tree name, scorpion, and it
Hmm.
actually is a scorpion that can climb around wood and trees, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the closest country in Europe that has wild scorpions is actually not Kingdom or England has
Swedish.
scorpions. Hmm?
My
Hold on.
favorite Monster
Get
Bug
your
War
booty ass out.
battle
Get your
was
booty out
a
of my
leopard
tree.
wandering spider versus a mangrove tree crab, and the spider won.
Huh. Yeah. Speaking of tree crab, I literally know that there is one crab that can actually climb in trees, and it's
And
and it's quite bigger
we
than.
just saw him on his and we just saw him on camera.
I had an
I'm
ant
just
boy get
kidding.
down there.
Yeah, and like I said, this Malachite is he's an anteater.
No, I'm not. I would rather
Well,
be I would rather be a hermit crab. I would rather be a hermit crab.
Well, Malachite, if your name was Lewis, you could make those ants into a delicacy.
well, the been saying my sister used to eat ants when she was younger,
Oh my god.
and
At least
No,
for
I
me
mean,
seriously,
though,
he
I am
once
never
made
good.
them like
At
deep
least for
fried
me
and
though,
stuff
I
like
am.
that. He's like, "Oh, I can make these ants into whatever I want. I'm awesome."
At
but there
least
is
one thing though.
one okay, but there is one species of ants that you not want to even want to near it. Fire ants, because they're dangerous.
I think we actually have fire ants around here.
I believe
I'm
there's
assuming they're the red
other.
ones.
I believe there's other that or soldier. Um, I believe it's soldier ants. That's if you've seen in Indiana Jones the crystal skull, that type of ants is dangerous. But speaking of scorpion, there used to be one scorpion that was 3 feet long, which lived on land, but lived millions of years before any of us, or even before dinosaurs. So, Mr. Storm, how been up to?
Good. I just can't get one thing. Why is
What?
Game Guy so mad at me right now? I don't even know.
I wouldn't know.
Would have not mad at you at all.
Y'all, I'm just making sure, dog.
Well, I'm not. I don't know why gave you that impression, but whatever.
Have you guys ever seen an actual alligator by any chance?
Well, there
No.
was that alligator farm or crocodile
Actually,
farm
hold
or
on.
whatever it was in Florida.
I think our our children's zoo down here when I used to go down to it, I think they had maybe a few alligators that we could see, but they had to put a glass wall in between us and watching them.
Hmm. Yeah, there is actually only one in my hometown. There's actually they have a few type of species of alligators. There is even another zoo in my country which has also oh by Stormy, which has oh hello Stormy again,
Sorry, I deleted it. I
which
was
actually
trying.
has a few species of other alligators and caimans. And have you guys ever heard of orange alligator?
Nope.
Oh, I do have something to tell you.
They're alligators that
They do
just so happen to
exist.
be orange.
Yep. Oh, by Stormy. I can show you. I can show you there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Here we go.
Mm.
Here we go. Here is the orange alligator.
I'm sorry, it keeps doing that for some reason.
Here we go. This is the orange alligator. And no, people, this is not a fake. This is actual real species that is orange.
Oh yeah.
So apparently, they were even considered. They used to be considered as a cryptid.
Oh.
You know, I did mention this before. The platypus were at one point considered as cryptid, but I later found out there was another animal that was considered as a cryptid, the Komodo dragon. Which is a
Around the
little
wheel
bit
this
not
time.
expected.
I'm gonna run the wheel.
I even find out I find out there was one supposed since the Komodo dragons are also known as monitor lizards.
Oh.
There were ones who could live in somewhere in the U.S. That's 15 feet long.
That's what we do.
I believe. I believe it was between 10 or 15 feet long lizard.
That's what we do.
So how does it living in Oklahoma, Mr. Storm?
Oh, frick, bro. We've actually gotten some rain lately, and it's windy
We
right now.
hadn't even
That's
had
why.
any. We hadn't even had any rain here for maybe almost a week.
Oh, that sucks. Yo, no! I was about to push the wheel.
But I really hope that we have some rain soon.
Well, I don't know. It might. I don't think it's gonna get any better. I heard that's why. I heard that anyway. It's gonna be like a super El Nino, bro.
Well, I really hope that we have some rain at least from time to time, so that it's just so that the ground isn't too dry. Because for the past few weeks we haven't had this um, grass fire warnings in the south of the country. But now that they had experienced some rain and yeah, so not wait.
Yes, sir.
I will be back.
Are you serious? I was trying to run that wheel, bro.
Anyway,
And I ran that
so
hard.
Sir Malachite, what's up
Yes.
with you?
Yes, Jester Game Guy.
Oh,
What?
oh,
I called you a jester.
Oh, I thought you said something else. What's up with you?
Well, I am 18 questions away from completing the video game quiz on my end. I just have to go through the Spyro games now.
Excellent.
Oh, I do give you a heads up.
Oh,
One
I
of
got
the
you.
games I got for the
Oh, baby,
PlayStation
you want me to nuzzle your
1 through
muzzle? Come here.
4 era,
Come here.
I doubled. I actually got back for a question on one of my millionaire quizzes.
Hmm.
Oh, ew. Blue sky. Oh,
Being honest, I'm pretty much done with that. So
so we just decided though. Sapphire, come here. Mommy with a nuzzle on your muzzle. Muzzle, come here. Oh,
it's just kind of weird.
I'm babying my dog. Who's a good girl? You are. You are. Who's a good girl?
What kind of dog is it that you have?
A German Shepherd. Remember?
All right, those are.
Yeah. Oh. I don't even know how to use this.
Excuse me. Ooh.
That's her right there. I was babying her. She loves it.
How old is your dog?
She turned 10, like a couple weeks ago.
Huh.
Turn 10.
Yeah, she turned 10.
Yeah, mine's 12, so there you go.
Is it small or
Well,
big dog?
based on this, what I find out, German Shepherds usually live between 9 and 13 years.
Yep.
Huh. Um,
Uh,
is it? There are some reports that German Shepherds can live into the late teens, as perhaps it's 18 or 20 years old, but they're largely unverified. But a German mix breed reaches 15 years in Scotland.
are you looking? Are you looking on Wikipedia?
Nope, Google.
Yeah, Wikipedia is not a reliable source of information.
I don't know what that has to do with this, but okay.
They might not give the right ages or something.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know that good that Wikipedia is you can't really not trust it as much 100%, but more like as I don't know, maybe as 10% of it is you can't be relying on. But otherwise, not a lot of it is accurate. To depend on what you're looking up, especially if like something like a topic that Game Guy was very interested in, which is space. If he would read about exoplanets, planets that are outside our system, um,
You would have to do it on Chrome or
like
Google.
if he would read the number of planets that has been discovered, but even though there have one number, let's say it's like let's say the number is 6,200, but there has been perhaps even 400 more planets being discovered, but none of those were not being added on the list because they had to be verified if they're actually a planet or if they're just a simple a comet or an asteroid or something. If you could live on any other world in our system, where would you live?
I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy. Or Marvel, sorry.
I mean, Mars is potentially. Personally, I would say after Mars as my new home, and I would have a vacation home on Titan and travel to Pluto or maybe to Europa, Jupiter's moon for ice skating trip.
You know,
That'd be something.
you know, didn't Diana left? Didn't Diana leave after she went to quote unquote move back to California?
Hmm. Um, Game guy, have you heard of the movie Europa Report?
Nope.
Well, it's at the hand of the name. They're travel to Europa, the moon, to find if there's any potential life there. Um, Everyone on the crew dies near the end, but they discover it has a life of what's almost like squid life form. So, Ocean Globe, still alive.
I am.
Look at your name.
Alrighty, there we go. That's whoa, hold on. Sea temps right now are hanging around 0.2 above average in the Pacific,
Hmm.
or point 0.2. We're heading towards the stage.
Um, so Stormy, how's junior high for you going so far?
How's my what?
How is junior high going for you?
Yeah, we just got out of school, so I'm like going to 8th grade.
Ah, so you have some vacation already?
Yeah, I've already taken some classes. I'm also taking
Wow.
cross country, powerlifting, and track.
Huh.
Yeah, I do all
Are you
that stuff.
are you still in the choir?
Yeah, I'm still in the choir. Yeah, you should see my calf muscle. Yeah, you guys should
Why
see
you're
my calf. Look how massive it is. Can't see it. Let me give you a closer look. You'll be able to see it in the closer side.
Dude, what are you laughing about?
Not important. Good times.
He's probably thinking of past memories.
Shut up,
Here we go.
bird. Oh, get out of there. Get out of there. What you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. This bird was just like. Oh, you know, my birthday is on August 24th. I'm just gonna put that out of context there. Pieces of crap. Mama.
Hey, don't mess with mine.
So, Mr. Ocean Globe or Malachi, what have you been up to?
Well, if I can stick my schedule, um, I will almost be done. I probably will be done with my side of the video game quiz. I mean, Game Guy, we're gonna co-host together. I only have 18 questions left to do.
Sir. Yo. Yeah, what was that?
That's Swedish having a brain fart attack.
Well, it sounds like if it was a crow or raven from Storm's End.
Yeah, hold on for
Mm.
a second. Oh yeah, we want to try that. Come on, we want to try
You know,
that. Do it.
Swedish. Some people that have trouble whistling can actually find pretending to be a crow easier sometimes.
Caw
And
caw.
that should come.
No, like, ah, ah.
Well, I can't whistle, so there you go.
This is how Raven says, "Ow, ow."
Okay, that sounded more like a cat's voice.
Well, actually, ravens can talk.
Oh, great! Watch out, you! Watch out, all of you parents out there! You have new competition.
Oh.
I mean, certain types of ravens can actually mimic human speech, like parrots.
Are you pulling my string here, Swedish? I've never seen a raven before in my life.
You never seen a raven? Well, to be fair, I even know.
I've seen lots of crows.
It's just me spitting out my air here.
Oh, freaking.
Well, the Swedish version of the European version of the raven can actually talk. I seen on TV in an old TV show there were this old man who actually had a raven that could literally talk. Well, he only repeats some of the words like the parrots
This
do.
is meeting you tomorrow. Hang on, I gotta restart my computer again.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'm good. Wanted to have a brain fart? Well, two can play at that game. Yeah,
Huh.
don't mess with me. Yeah, don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Don't touch me, bro.
You know, it says here on that American Crow, they actually has their highly cunning and uh, species. They're able to steal food from other, and they can even apparently one example a group of crows was stealing a fish from a
And
northern river otter. Huh? Look at that. Stormy, what are you watching?
nothing. Nothing you need to know anyway.
Doesn't sound like nothing.
What does it sound like then?
Something you're watching.
Then I guess you'll never know what I'm watching. Just suck your mama. Oh shoot! I was talking to this guy right here. He's like harassing me. Shoot. Hold on. I gotta go.
Well, alright then. Not sure what happened there, but okay. So, what happened?
Hmm?
What I miss?
Not much. I just told the guys that ravens is is a species of crows or birds that can actually mimic human speech. Huh.
Alright. Oh my god, my train of thought is going off the rails here. What was I gonna- Oh wait, now I remember. Hang on.
So, Mr. Malachite, what have you been doing?
Well, I just got done eating Hot Pockets, and they are incredible.
Mm, I wouldn't even know. Never even had any.
Finally, they made hot pockets. Cold pockets were too well known. My god. Those cold pockets suck.
I'd rather eat sometimes cold food, like pancakes, pizza.
Hey, by the way, Swedish.
Hmm?
Have you ever heard of the whole Mario 64 being personalized thing?
Nope, I haven't.
Oh boy, it's a story, alright. Basically, I mean, obviously you know what Mario 64 is. You've seen it in randomized form, but you know that big, you know the big blue portal thing that I sometimes go into that sends me to wherever?
Mm-hmm.
The big blue portal that I end up at, like, right behind one of the star doors. If you know what I'm talking
Yep.
about.
Yep.
Well, some people, well, that would normally take you to Dire Dire Docks, but some people are like, when you go inside that room, a giant disembodied Wario head, yeah, don't ask, nothing makes sense anymore, just shows up and just chases you. And then the hallway you just came from becomes infinite, and then Wario just eats you. Or it's a boss fight. It really depends on the person you ask. It's completely ridiculous, doesn't actually happen, but it's interesting to read about. Because it's like, here's this game that pretty much everybody knows, and then, uh-oh, here comes some new stuff thrown into it that some people say they had and other people say they didn't. It's just completely ridiculous.
Hmm.
There could also be like, you know, that giant black chain chomp that I run by sometimes when I'm doing the randomizer.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like, I've seen that chain chomp with white eyes, no pupils, just white eyes. And apparently it's like, oh, this means your copy's super personalized or something like that. It's a mystery, honestly.
That's a bit strange, though.
It is, but I don't know. It's an interesting read. It's kind of like the back rooms in a way. It's like throwing yourself into this thing you think you know, and then suddenly, hey, here's these new things that you didn't know about. They aren't actually real, but they're an interesting read. Or at least I don't think they're real. What's up, Malachi? Did you want to say something?
No, just clearing my throat.
You sure about that? You don't want to discuss anything? You don't want to talk about it? You don't want to explain it to us? I don't know. That's just being weird.
I wonder what our friendly Bermuda Triangle professor of salamander magic is up to.
Wow, that was the longest Lord of Sidicus I've ever heard.
He's probably making some magic with Nessie right now.
Say what?
Well, that's the first time I ever got game guys to go off in an outburst.
God, what the hell, Malachi? Oh
I
god.
didn't even hear what
Some
he said.
magic, you say? Oh god, what is wrong with me? Good
I don't know.
good times.
Wow.
I mean, who knows in the future, maybe Loch Ness will eventually become Loch Acidicus Ness with hundreds of Lord Acidicus Nessie salamanders just swimming around in it like it's their big pool.
Yeah, but Lord wouldn't be paying for the water bills.
No comment.
I heard that there's some castle structure up by where near Loch Ness is. He probably just be up there the whole day and like, finally some peace and quiet at last.
Didn't Lord once say he was getting sick of all these Lord Nessie things?
Yeah, well,
Yep.
probably, but to me, they're better than dad jokes.
He could use them as dad jokes.
If he ever knew any.
Or if he was a dad. Just saying.
Mm. Just also currently working on some of the millionaire quizzes.
Speaking of which, are we doing Millionaire after this?
We could.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Oh, what's it? Getting something. Now let's see what this is.
Silence. As always.
Sudden silence. To be fair, I'm not sure what to talk about. So
Yeah, I have no idea.
yeah, it beats me. Let's see.
Um,
Well, I'm almost at 9,500 levels beaten in my game. Perhaps that means I've been playing too much, but how long's the stream been going on here for? Give me 1 second. Almost 2 hours. Look at that.
Yep. And Hayden was here earlier, but he left at some point. I don't know why though.
Probably had to do something.
Probably.
Hmm. Yeah, I've got no idea what to talk about.
Yeah, same here. I have no idea.
hmm. It's Swedish.
Hmm?
If you had the chance to design your own home for free, what would you go with for its theming? Would you go with Roman architecture or Spanish architecture?
Roman.
Hmm. Probably give a Colosseum theme. I mean, the Colosseum is one nicely detailed structure in the world these days. I can't argue with it. I mean, the Taj Mahal and Sydney Opera House are also some pretty good looking structures, but the Colosseum I just feel like is is Earth's queen jewel of a landmark.
True. I mean, considering that Taj Mahal is a mausoleum for the owner's wife, and
Made out of white
it's
marble.
yeah. Oh, that they had to clean it for. They did it that for not that long ago, since A lot of pollution over the years. But if I have to say that, if I would want to be going to see one of the most historical monuments in the world, hmm, probably, well, I would say the Eiffel Tower. And I will bring Game Guy with me to the top of it
No.
and leave him there.
You could always put a statue of him on top.
Or, no, wait, Statue of Liberty.
Sorry, but I don't think we're in agreeing to selling it.
I don't think you understand. If I gone to the top of the Eiffel Tower, I'd just freeze up and I'd just free fall off the edge of it.
You know what, Game Guy? You know it does have a good view up there. Just try not to look down a lot. But you know what? I actually watched something funny. I think I mentioned the show before. AFV, America's Funniest Home Videos. This group of guys went up to the Eiffel Tower with a paper airplane and they threw it, and they recorded the plane moving across down to the ground. And when it hit the road and stopped, they even backed out slowly to see how far down it went. And from what I heard, they actually retrieved it after they exited the tower, and actually found and located it down on a suburb street from where it landed. It was incredible. They actually watched this thing fall from the top of the tower down to a road below the whole time. I was like, wow. And now I think I'm going to get killed because there's silence.
Sleep with one eye only, Malachite. Well, if I didn't hate heights so much, maybe I'd try it, but
Hey, if Roy's not afraid of heights, he could probably do something like if you were to do that, you could probably throw it, but you could probably throw it, maybe take a seat somewhere, and if Roy's not afraid of heights, maybe he would record it for you.
I'd still be terrified of watching it fly to the sky from the top of the Eiffel Tower. That place is supposed to be the icon of America, not a roller coaster.
You know, if I could, I probably will bring the whole Statue of Liberty home to Sweden.
You wouldn't be allowed to do that.
I know. I say if I could.
I mean,
How would you even get it
you could
over
probably
there?
ask someone. You could probably ask someone to build a replica, so you could have something monumental to look at.
That, or maybe I will take the Washington Monument, the Lincoln statue.
Mm.
Well, one thing's for sure, I'm just lucky the Statue of Liberty wasn't made during Trump's time, otherwise it would be called the Statue of Trumperty.
Or statue of trombone. But Donald Trump playing trombone, like mwah, mwah, mwah.
I don't know, I kind of
No,
like
wait.
Trumperty a little better, but
Yeah, I mean, you know, the statue was actually built as a gift from France to America during this. I believe it was the 100 years anniversary of America as independence nation. The most funniest were mentioned about this Statue of Liberty is actually from I, I believe it was from the first or second Ghostbusters. But they literally spraying the entire inside of the statue and blasting some positive music and then actually walking across the bay into town and the torch it blew up and literally started burning an actual fire and and as the statue was walking along it had police escorts and it literally crushed one of the police cars. Um, in the latest movie they made, um, Ghostbuster Afterlife. Well, it's I hadn't really seen much of the movie itself, but um, the one that's with playing the granddaughter in the movie, she literally stole one of the some props from the movie. And I think there's gonna be a sequel to that movie. I think there's still plans to that. And the director of that movie was actually, I believe, it's this. He's the son who actually made the original trilogy of the movies. Okay, you guys probably have heard at least of this Ghostbuster 2016 with those all ladies.
I do not like that version. I like
Mhm.
only the one with the men.
I had even
Malachi, that sounded terribly wrong.
Hey, I like the original Ghostbusters where it had the four guys in it.
no, about he where he was meeting a reference that you sound like you only like men, not women.
Okay, well, I just clarified myself up there.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Now I'm gonna
The
kick both
word
of your asses for thinking I was. Now I'm gonna kick both of your asses for thinking I'm gay.
To be fair, it sounded really wrong. Probably should have reworded that.
but I can say this: there were actually some
Just saying.
discussions of making a. There were some discussions of making a sequel to that movie, but never happened. I never saw it, but my dad saw that Ghostbusters, and he didn't like it. At of the, I wouldn't be surprised if it's gonna be a sequel to this new movie they had. I mean, I know that the uh his name was Egon, the one with the glasses was he had died about a week earlier in the movie, and he did reach out to one of the guys to telling him um, about this danger, like a little danger, this little something in some psychic storm, this massive paranormal activity, and that I don't know, and that this he had built this type of giant generator outside his farm home, and he put this like a pedal and started to hoping this gonna be attract some energy. Um, I don't know exactly what he did, but do some sort of fail-safe program device that he built. But instead of working, it blow a fuse, and the machine does, um, and those machines didn't work. And at least what I find out, and that um, another thing is that most people actually have forgotten almost about the Ghostbusters, and that um, they had to leave the firehouse, the firehouse, and it's it's that there was something happening, build something else there, And Egon, he took the ambulance and some of the equipments and just took off. I believe one of the guys actually became uh, economics advisor. Some actually became a millionaire, something like that. But they eventually came back in the end of all those three surviving guys, and they did actually meet up with Egon, despite that he died earlier in the movie. Well, his ghost appeared, and yeah, I mean that was only based on what I saw some as part clips from the movie, though. But that movie was originally supposed to be released a bit earlier, but due to the pandemic, it was put on hold for a while,
Okay, but
like
if you
many
ask
other movies.
me, but if you ask me, in the first one they did with Dan Aykroyd and the fellas, when these guy went to their location, like their headquarters, and released all of those ghosts, and he said he's good, take them into jail and such. I would have been like, no, you're going to jail. You broke an entry and just released a whole lot of danger into this world, you dumbass.
Yeah, and I
He didn't
believe
even have a
this one.
warrant on him. He didn't even look like police, and yet he's a stupid
Mhm.
jackass.
And especially in the movie when they have this portrait of this supposed sorcerer. Here's the part of the backstory of that character. He was he actually lived to be as 108, no wait, 105 years old, which were three times longer than average lifespan during the time of the 1600s. The average lifespan was around perhaps about 50 or 55 at most, and he lived to be as over 100. Um, but that character is yeah, it's just I don't know. But I would say that one of my favorite characters from the movies would have to be in Slime.
The one ghost.
Yeah, the green slimy ghost, which is a friendly who eats a lot.
You.
But I think probably this ghost as something that Malachi would probably enjoy.
I wasn't much a fan of the ghost. My all time favorite scene that I kind of enjoyed a lot out of the first two Ghostbusters was when they made the toaster dance, which was pretty cool. I mean, considering all the musical experiment they pulled with that, they could have made lots of other things dance. I mean, I could have seen a television dance and maybe a lamp dance.
True, but one of the ghosts that I know that's possessed at least an object is something that you probably would like.
I
I believe
doubt it.
this was um this fluffy Donald, not Donald, but the donut type of. He kind of looks like the Michelin man, those with his white tires and his hat on it. If you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't even know what it is. But I would say that my favorite of the movies are the Ghostbusters, but also probably the second one when having the Statue of Liberty moving. In fact, Titanic arrives to New York as a ghost. And the two workers like, well, better than later.
Don't look at me. These guys are crazy. I like that part when they're in the asylum, and that's what Dan Aykroyd says. Don't look at me. These guys are crazy. I don't know what they're doing.
Well,
That was funny. I'll admit that.
I mean, I don't remember the dancing toaster. I mean, there have been a while since I saw the movie itself, so. Okay, what if this could actually, um, since it's a toaster, what about if you have a car or a bike or a bed? uh, that would be something.
I'm so tired.
Well, we can always skip Super Millionaire next time if you're tired.
That's fine.
High quality. It was nice knowing you.
Well, I should probably end here, anyways. Has been 2 hours already, so. Well, everyone, has been an interesting stream this time. So, until next time, this is Fiscablo signing off. Bye.
See ya.
And goodbye.